Hello everybody, my name is Yohan, and welcome back to my channel, Yo Frags. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be talking about one of the highest rated, I think most beloved fragrances of all time. Especially considering this is a designer release. I'll be talking about Prada L'homme Intense. This is a gem. I would give this if not a 10 out of 10, I think I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. Presentation is pretty standard. I will say it's a plastic cap, slightly weighted, but just to click on, super simple. Atomizers on these are great. This is actually my scent of the day. It's got the textured back with just the Prada badge code and all that good stuff. Again, with all these designer fragrances, they come pretty standard with just a cardboard box, slightly textured. Should have Prada L'homme Intense. Also, making sure the badge code matches. But yeah, other than that, pretty standard, just cardboard box. Nothing too fancy, nothing to worry about here, but a gem of a fragrance. I think this is one of the best, not even just fall winter fragrances. I think this is one of the best designer fragrances ever released, and honestly year round. I think you could get away with this in the spring. Summer, maybe one spray, depending on how hot it is, but I would say summer maybe not so much, but maybe you could get away with it if you know you're going to be like inside AC. With that being said, this is not like a heavy fragrance. It's not like a cloying fragrance or gourmand. I usually go over notes and whatnot, but honestly, I do feel that can be misleading, and it really doesn't really not educate, but it doesn't really tell much of the story for like the end user, right? I think they're a good glimpse into what was thought of when this fragrance was made, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary for reviews or for people doing research. Like anyone can easily just look up, Prada L'homme Intense, see what the top, mid, base are. But ultimately, I think the wearing experience matters a lot more than what the notes may be. I think seldomly often, that's like his big spiel too, where it is not relevant for the end user, talking about notes and whatnot, as the wearing experience, I think, translates better. And overall, I feel like just the wearing experience, the feel, the overall fragrance is better, or is best described by those things rather than just reading off the notes. But like the Prada L'homme line, this is a beautiful iris, not the lipsticky iris, where it does slightly have that lipstickiness, but it is not heavy at all. Very light, almost linen-like fresh laundry. This is my favorite out of the whole Prada L'homme line. I do like the OG, but performance-wise, it's not the worst. It's like a solid 8 hours, but it becomes a skin scent right around the hour 5 mark. And if you're like me, somebody who struggles with performance in their fragrances, and certain scents just don't project or have good sillage off your skin, this, compared to the OG, projects much more, lasts much longer. It's obviously due to the types of fixatives they used in certain notes and accords, but I found this one lasted all day, no problem. Sillage was for a good 10 hours, honestly. Like I could still catch whiffs of this. Very strong within the first 3 hours though. Definitely not room filling, but strong enough where you have a comfortable scent bubble, and also knowing that you're not hurting anybody's nose from this, if that makes sense. This is a beautiful iris scent. It's got leather in here, but it's not like a leather jacket leather, or like leather shoes. Like, it's not like a strong leather. It's just a very well blended leather. Not as smooth or as well blended compared to Guerlain Low Medial Extreme, but still very, very smooth. This to me is like a toned down leather where it's super wearable, like a blind buy or blind grab and go. Like, if you were to pick a scent, you could put this on, spray yourself, like, honestly, you could spray yourself like 10 times. Would not be cloying, would not be overwhelming. And you'd be good to go. Like, I think this line, the Prada L'homme line, is some of the most versatile fragrances you can get. And they all smell wonderful. Even Prada L'homme Low. Like, I love Prada L'homme Low. It's a fresher take. I do think having the OG and Intense can be redundant, as they kind of accomplish the same thing. But it really depends on your preference. I will say the OG is slightly fresher, not as dark, especially in the dry down. But again, this doesn't get gourmand dark or like smoky dark or woody dark. It's just like a nice slight amber wood leather. But that iris is still present throughout the whole fragrance. But it's that clean iris. It's like that laundry iris. It's so good. Not heavy lipstick cloying iris. I would give this, again, like a 9.5 out of 10. If I'm being very picky. But for the price, for the accessibility, you cannot go wrong. Like, I would give this 10 out of 10. I think I'm being too nitpicky. You can grab this anywhere from $55 in the aftermarket, slightly used, maybe like 95 to 90%. You get it brand new for around $65 on most discounters. That is amazing. The quality of this fragrance, the overall performance, the wear experience, like, this is so blind buy safe, and this is so wearable, so approachable, and overall just such a nice smelling scent. You literally cannot go wrong wearing this. It is a go-to scent, I think, for fall, winter, spring. Again, easily wearable. Summer, I think you can get away with it if you are cautious about the sprays, and depending if you're going to be indoors in a temperature controlled room, or if you're going to be outdoors and maybe it's like a little windy, or you're going to be walking around, as long as you're not in a small room with no AC, trapped, sweating, hot, I think you should be okay, honestly. This is honestly one of the best releases ever, designer and niche. I was gutted when, they stopped pushing these and they weren't becoming as accessible in most like retail environments. The Prada Ocean line, Prada Luna, Rosa Ocean line, I think they're gearing more towards that, like that type of scent profile. But this is a masterpiece. This is one of the most beloved fragrances of all time for good reason. I'm sure you guys have already smelled this too, but I highly recommend getting this. I have this bottle and a backup bottle just because I know I run through these bottles, and they're super affordable, super accessible. And before they discontinue them completely, not knowing if they ever will, but you never know, right? Especially nowadays, a lot of big designer houses, they will discontinue fragrances even if they do really well. They will discontinue them randomly. We don't know what happens behind those closed doors. So I always get 2 bottles. If I really like something, I will always get 2 bottles. Beautiful, wonderful fragrance for the fall, winter time, even spring, and honestly summer as well. I do think it is redundant to own both the OG and L'homme Intense, but to each their own. I prefer the Intense, but the OG is still just as nice and just as wearable. Super inoffensive. Just absolutely wonderful scent. I cannot recommend this enough, especially if you're just getting into fragrances. You will not regret this purchase. But, right, that is just my opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Maybe you have had a bottle of this, maybe you didn't like it. I would love to hear your experiences down in the comments. What do you think about this fragrance? That's where I'll end it today. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe and have a good day. God bless.